The other stock which has been doing very well, irrespective of which way the market was trading, was Sobha Developers. Rare to see a real estate stock trade with such gusto, but 9% higher in trade. Very impressive release by Sobha about what they have done in Q2 and what they plan to do in the next 2 quarters ahead. Let's get in the management. JC Sharma, Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Sobha, joins us right now on the show. Good having you, Mr. Sharma. Thanks so much for joining in. Heartening to see a real estate company so confident of the next two quarters as well. Congratulations on that. But just wondering, you've sold what, 2 million odd square feet in the first half against a full year guidance of 4.2. So do you believe that in the next 2 quarters you'll be able to achieve this 2.3 million mark?
Of course, yes. We have always maintained, and we continue to maintain and believe that the guidance note whatever we have given, we hopefully will be able to sell 4.2 million square feet, as well as in value terms 2,600 crore worth of stocks in this financial year.
Mr. Sharma, great to know that. So can you run us through what are the new launches we can expect and how will that be aiding your sales in the second half?
You see, in second half we have planned series of launches. We will be launching projects in Bangalore, at least 2 more projects. One will be in this quarter and one will be in the next quarter. We also will be launching 3 projects in Trichur, Cochin, as well as in Calicut. We also plan to launch some projects in Coimbatore also, and a new product within the villa project in New Delhi, the NCR also, Gurgaon. So hopefully this second half will be full of launches, and which should help us in achieving what we have targeted for ourselves.
How's the pricing trend, Mr. Sharma, in Bangalore, which is your key market? And just wondering whether the slew of launches in the other cities will have any impact on the average realization price for you. I think you did what, 6,300 odd for this quarter. Will it stay the same for the next 2 quarters?
See, we had estimated that our sales realization will be better than that of last year, which you are seeing on every quarter. And we also believed that if I am selling 4.2 million square feet of volumes, then we should be achieving 2,600 crore. So somewhere prices will be higher than the current prices, somewhere they will be lower than the current prices. But on balance, we hope to have prices higher than 6,000 rupees on an average as the year ends.
Bangalore, Mr. Sharma, how are pricing trends there specifically?
See, everywhere the prices remain firm. See, we are going through tough times. The inflationary costs continue to remain in the system. And in the second half, normally people tend to increase the prices of steel and cement. That also needs to be absorbed. So in such an environment, you cannot expect developers to reduce the prices. So at the end of the day, we have always communicated that wherever whatever prices are there, barring few exceptions here and there, the prices of most of the developers remain reasonable. Of course, it comes to the question of affordability vis-a-vis the higher interest rates, where we have been requesting or we have been communicating that our interest rates are high, needs to come down. But unfortunately, that is not happening. But still, in a case like Bangalore, where the household income is reasonably high, the end user demand remains intact, the price points at which the developers are selling are reasonable, and people continue to buy from most of the developers at the current prices with no hope of prices coming down on the existing products.
Mr. Sharma, quarter after quarter we've seen that despite the slowing economy, the way the currency has panned out, you have seen a sustained momentum in your sales. Do you think that with all of these new launches, we can expect the top line growth to be sustained at these levels?
Of course, when the new sales are higher, the cash flows will be better, and at the end of the day, since we continue to reinvest this money back to our projects, it will also reflect in improving our top line as well as bottom line.
Can you tell us what interest rate borrowing is currently happening at, and is the company looking at any refinancing options?
See, as far as our current rate of interest is concerned, every quarter those interest rates are coming down. We had 13.45% of interest as on 31st of March, which came down to about 12.8%. And in this quarter also it has further come down from 30th June, whatever it was 12.8%, to lower than that. So our rate of interest is coming down, and instead of now refinancing against the new project launches, we are getting the new loans around 12%.
Okay, a couple of questions, Mr. Sharma. One is on IT as a sector. Now everybody is talking about the rebound. Their IT companies have done very well. Their sales are growing. Does that augur well for some of the key projects in Bangalore for you as a company? Will you see a pricing uptick there?
And I don't think we can correlate that easily with the fortune improving in the IT sector, that automatically the next day the demand will increase. What we are trying to convey is when the IT sector is doing well and when they are adding number of employees, at some point of time these employees will become our customers. And that process hopefully will get restarted from now onwards, with rupee giving them lots of benefit and US economy also doing very well. So hopefully the Bangalore market and Chennai market especially should do well when the IT sector does well, because the migration, the job absorption and the job security helps the real estate to grow better.
One more thing, Mr. Sharma. I'm just giving you a scenario. You mentioned about interest rates. There is a belief that rates will not come down. Instead, they might actually go up over the course of the next couple of quarters. So I'm giving you a scenario. Next 6 months, interest rates go up. You mentioned that cement and steel prices will go up too. Let's assume they go up as well. What happens then? Does Sobha squeeze its margins, or do you increase prices at a risk of demand tapering off?
It's a good point, right? We would like to achieve the following. The first is the guidance what we give, we should sell that much. For that, if we find that the price increase may not help us to do the increase in our volumes, we may not resort to the increase immediately. What kind of an impact that will have on our margins? Currently it is very difficult to predict, but Sobha has been consistently conveying that on its real estate business, we try to achieve close to 40% as the operating margin, and company as a whole, we try to target 30% as our operating margin. So we would like to work within these parameters, and at the same time would like to protect our volumes and the market share. How things will pan out as things happen, I can share, but we have achieved in the past, hopefully we'll achieve in the coming 2 quarters also.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, Mr. Sharma. Congratulations on a good quarter. We'll of course talk to you post your numbers too, and all the best for the quarters ahead. Thanks so much for taking the time out and being with us. 9% up for Sobha, and yes, the news flow around the real estate space plus what they have done in particular really aiding to the stock. 9.5% now and counting, 318 or 319. Prakash, a quick check on Sobha developers at 9.5% higher in the session. Would you trade Sobha?
I would continue the trade, Neeraj, because structurally it's still positive. We've seen a good up move and a good consolidation, which I call it a running correction. And after running correction, it's given a breakout today. So if someone is to take a fresh trade, I think need to have a stop below 300 zones. And the target in the days to come could be closer to around 350 plus zones. So there is a trade available, but you need to stretch the time frame and have a deeper stop or wait for correction to come. I would say continue with the trade.
Okay, that's a call coming in on Sobha Developers 319. That's where the counter is currently placed at.